Hi guys, this is Stefan McMillan.
And Justin Watson.
And you're listening to episode 2 of Exposure, a half-hour sit-down with some of online's newest and exciting content creators.
And today we have a very special guest. His name is Patrick, and his channel is SorenWaritheart. And that is on YouTube, if you didn't know. And he makes great content.
And let's start the show.
Hey guys, we're back and we have another How to Get Away with YouTube. Now, this has been happening for a couple of weeks now, but YouTube, I guess they updated their terms of service or something. So they made it against the rules to put a bunch of tags in your description. And apparently, I guess it was a way to game the system back in the day. So I had seen it before, and some people were talking about it, so I tried it out in a few videos. It didn't really help the video, so I stopped doing it. YouTube wants to change the rule and not tell anybody.
As they usually do.
Okay, and then they don't even give you a warning like, hey, these videos are like against the rules right now. So, like, my channel has been at 30,000 views for a while now. But if you go to my channel, it'll only say 29. And I kept saying, why is it not making it to 30,000? It's like analytics has been saying it's been up there for forever. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to just check my videos. And then delete it. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I was like, oh, crap. And
the videos you put the tags in were deleted?
Mm-hmm. No warning, no nothing.
Wow. And
this happened to another YouTuber, and they deleted almost 400 of his videos. And it's just like, can you really? I couldn't just send a notification? Like, check these videos?
Well, I'll say this, and hopefully this doesn't offend you. They deleted 400 of his videos, but Shane Dawson's channel is still intact.
Oh, he does it too?
No, but he's notorious, I guess, for having misleading titles and misleading thumbnails.
Oh, yeah. He's called me multiple times. But I like his content, so it doesn't bother me.
I guess, but I feel like that's worse than, like, putting tags in your description. Like, does that even work that well?
It didn't work for me. That's why I had stopped doing it. Like, it was only like 5 videos I did it to. And one of them was a really popular video, but that's because it was Catalina in it, and she was in one of those sexy Halloween costumes. So, of course, that one got up there. And then the other one was a skit I did that I promoted for years. So, it was just like, those 2 videos would have did well anyway, and then the other ones didn't do well, so.
Well, like I said, it's weird that they're cracking down on that issue, but something that's far more dangerous and far more useful to someone that wants to cheat the system as using fake thumbnails. It seems like everyone's doing it. It's like running rampant. Even like big YouTubers who already have a following are still doing it. So, like, where's the line being drawn at?
Yeah, I kind of like I used to do, like when I do my TV show reviews, I usually like, put whatever, and I forget. I'm like, put recap, and I'm like, oh yeah, duh, recap. But sometimes I forget. And then like when we do Cataquan, we do very viral videos, but I make sure that the thumbnail clearly is like not a picture of the video. Like some people do that too. They put a picture of the video as if they're going to click it and watch the video. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you don't need to do that because people will watch it regardless. Like they won't. I've seen people like click on videos that clearly the thumbnail is 2 people talking about it, and they still click the video and act surprised that it was not the video they thought.
I guess, but wouldn't you agree that there's some people that's like getting thousands of views based on like you said, I know a lot of people that do, I guess, TV show recaps, and even if they're really good videos, they'll use, I guess, a screen cap of the episode to attract viewers. And I mean, I don't know who actually looks for TV shows on YouTube, but I guess apparently there's people that do. and they'll look for the TV show, and their video will pop up, and they'll click it thinking that it's the TV episode. And I feel like surely that's violating some sort of rule on YouTube.
It probably is. Well, for one, it's violating rule because like the image is most likely copywritten, and you're not supposed to put copywritten tags. But I guess those are harder to enforce.
But I feel like nothing's being done about it though.
Well, I think it's because only 5 people work at YouTube.
Yeah.
Because really, like, the only rule that's heavily enforced is the copyright, but that's because a computer does it. So, but anyway, any up and coming YouTubers, anybody, even if you're already established, unless you're the YouTube elite, and we all know who the YouTube elite is, unless you could like call somebody at YouTube, just take the tags out the description. Also, another thing to take out the description, affiliate links. So like AdFly or stuff like that. I've seen people their videos get taken down. I've never done that, but I've seen people's videos get taken down for it. And there are some people that their videos have been up for years and still hasn't been taken down. But like, I mean, 8 years of videos upload to YouTube every day. So eventually they'll find it though. And that was how to get away with YouTube. Well, maybe that wasn't really how to get away from anything, but but we'll see you guys in the interview with Patrick. So I'm a content creator and you are too, correct?
Yeah.
And sometimes we need extra support as content creators, and they have these things called networks. Now with a network, you can get extra support and extra apps and things to make your channel better. And yes, they do take a little cut, but that's okay, because when stuff hits the fan, like you get a copyright strike, you have someone to call. Good luck getting in touch with YouTube. And we have for you this. Fullscreen is accepting a lot of people, and the requirements aren't that much if you're a small channel, so you don't have much to worry about. And you can help and support the show. Apply.fullscreen.net/?ref equals Slowlist in your face.
That's apply.fullscreen.net/?ref equals Slowlist in your face. And we're back with our guest, Patrick. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So your name's Patrick, but you also go by SorenWaritheart. Where does that name come from?
Actually, SorenWaritheart is kind of my pen name, if you will. And it came around when I started an original story that I called Raving Hearts. It's a high fantasy story, and I kind of like the name Wraithheart, which is actually came from one of the characters, the King of the Four Horsemen, who is one of the main bad guys. And I've always liked the name Soren, and I thought, hey, that could be a good username.
Now, I see on your channel you have a series, Pokemon Stadium 2. Now it's a older series, but it's a classic game, but it is an older game. What made you choose? I guess I wouldn't call it retro, because I guess nowadays it would kind of be retro. I'm getting old, so what made you choose an older game?
Well, I guess you could say it's more of a personal childhood thing. Yeah, nowadays it would be considered retro in a sense, but I've always been a fan of the Pokemon games, and I've never actually done a Let's Play before, so I thought one of the easiest ones to start out with is the turn-based Pokemon Stadium 2, which I played a lot of as a kid. It was probably my favorite of the Pokemon console games.
Cool. Yeah, mine too. Well, I never had Pokemon Stadium 2. My friend had Pokemon Stadium 2. I had Pokemon Stadium. But both are amazing. So when you're getting ready to record, do you have any rituals like getting a cup of tea, or, moving your computer to a particular place, or getting particular things together? Like, what's your ritual to record?
It's actually a fairly simple process. A lot of times I would get ready to play. I would just kind of take a few deep breaths, and a lot of times I would have me some. I like to get some spiced tea right next to me because that always steadies my nerves. And after I take a few sips of that, I just get right into recording. And a lot of times, no drinks or no breaks in between. I just go in and start.
So what are your top 3 must play games right now?
Top 3 must play games. Oh boy, that's a hard one, honestly. But if I had to pick at the moment, that would probably be Majora's Mask 3DS. Really loving it. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I'm replaying it after a couple of years. Really enjoying it. And lastly would have to be The Last Story for the Nintendo Wii, which is a creator of Final Fantasy, and I find that is probably one of the best games I have ever played in my entire life.
Now, the Final Fantasy franchise, are you a big fan of all of them?
That I am, actually. I've played through all of them and beaten about half of them. My personal favorites of the series, aside from the spin-off game, was the Final Fantasy 13 series. And I just felt that engaged me the most, about as much, if not a little bit more, than Final Fantasy 7, surprisingly enough.
So one thing that really stood out to me about your channel is the fact that you actually show your face, which is different to most gamers that I've seen. Was that a conscious decision that you made, or do you think it actually helps your channel in any way?
I believe it does, actually, because while a lot of gamers like to hide their faces, since mine is more of a variety channel other than just straight Let's Plays, I find it would be cool to show my face and PewDiePie and Markiplier and them, and I think that is actually a good way. So it gets people to tell who you are, so that way they're not trying to picture, what do you look like? I don't like his voice. He sounds like a 12-year-old. And I figure as long they can actually know who you are while still keeping yourself, your personal, super personal details a secret, I would say.
Who are some of your YouTube idols or inspirations?
That's an easy one. Well, when I first started looking into YouTube many, many years ago, 7 years ago, I didn't really have any idols, but now I find within the past couple of years, I've come across people such as, well, the really most well-known YouTubers such as Rhett and Link, Tyler Oakley, Hannah Hart, Mamrie Hart, PewDiePie, Markiplier, and Marcus Butler, and just many others. The ones that, even though they are the most, they are some of the most famous YouTubers, but they're also very personal. They don't hog the spotlight, and they don't really let a lot of the fame get to their head.
So you have, for 24 hours, right? You get a login to someone's YouTube channel. It could be someone you hate or someone you love. You can do whatever you want on their channel, delete all their videos, make your own video. Whose login do you want?
Oh God, that's the first time I've ever actually heard that question. That's a tough one. I would have to say, oh God, probably Hannah Hart, and I would do sort of a play on her My Drunk Kitchen. I would sort of imitate her style and be like, hello, I'm Hannah Hart's older brother. Or so just have a little bit of fun with that. That's a good question. I've never given that a whole lot of thought.
Yeah, I don't even know how to really answer it myself. I just wanted to see what your thoughts on this. I think we had last year, before the end of the year, we had a bunch of YouTubers say, I'm done next year. This is it. I believe Kingsley said like he was done, but he's still going. What do you think about like these YouTubers saying, "Oh, I'm gone," and then they're like, "No, I'm staying."
I actually kind of have to laugh at that because I look at a lot of these YouTubers and I think they definitely have a love-hate relationship with YouTube and all the YouTubers who subscribe to the videos. I think it gets to a point where once you get so many videos, once you've been doing it for so long, you kind of get that little mindset, okay, it's the end of the year. I thought, this would be a good time to completely put the series finale, if you will, of my channel and then just never touch it again. But then they start to have thinking about it and they're regretting and going, oh, but I don't know. I kind of want to continue to make. I know the fans will miss me and I can't disappoint them. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna continue my channel, even if it kills me.
And then I also think there's the element of, well, I mean, like a lot of them, like let's say Tyler Oakley 2 years ago was like, okay, I'm done. It's just like, well, what are you gonna do now? Like now we can now we can say, well, he's on TV, he does other stuff. But back then, like, what else was he gonna do?
What's funny is when you look at Tyler Oakley, and last year, I mean, he had hit like 6 months earlier last summer, he ended up hitting 6 million subscribers, and 6 months prior to that, he ended up hitting 1 million subscribers. And it's one of those, back then, a couple years ago, I'd imagine be getting tired of going full time for YouTube, but now that he's at that level of everyone else, you see him branching out to going to conventions and being on TV. And I think it really is just kind of a judgment call at the time when you really take the time to think about what is it you really want to do. Like, are you going to continue? Are you going to take a hiatus or a sabbatical or something? I think it just really depends.
So how do you feel about YouTubers branching out from what they usually do? Like, you have Shane Dawson. He's writing a book. He has a podcast. He's directing movies now. It's kind of the same thing with, I guess, Joy Graceffa and Daily Grace. Do you think it's a good thing to branch out, or do you think it's smarter to, I guess, stay in your own lane?
Well, I think that people are usually passionate about what they do. And I believe even if you stick with the main aspect of your channel for the most part, eventually you get to a point where you kind of need to branch out a bit to where people look at you as being versatile. And I think that really helps a person because it lets people know more about them and what it is that kind of drives them, why they like to do what they do.
When you stop recording and you log off, I don't log off. Who logs off? But when you step away from the computer, what do you do?
Most of the time, as soon as I'm done recording, I usually just back away, take a little bit of a breather, and then if I have the time, most of the time, I want to try and just get right into editing and piecing it together so I can get it uploaded as soon as possible. But unfortunately, I get distracted very, very easily, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist in a sense. And you know how they say, you're your own worst critic? I'm that way. I will take a look a lot of times at what I have recorded, and then I'll sit there for a minute and go, I could have done that differently, but till I know. But you know what? I'm going to put my fate in the hands of the people, of the YouTubers.
Feel the same way. Only thing about like editing yourself is like it's funny. When I first started recording, I hated the sound of my voice, and then I got used to it, and then I started hating it again.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as me because my voice constantly fluctuates. A lot of times it will sound a little bit higher, other times it will naturally deepen, but for the most part, it's always remains sort of a slight, not really nasally voice, but I hear it recorded back and I'm going, oh God, that sounds so terrible. But then it's to a point where, looking at other YouTubers, there's some who have a weirder voice than I do. So it's one of those, oh well, okay, I guess my voice isn't as bad. I can get used to this.
That is a really great motivator. I've done that because a lot of people say like, oh, to be on the top of YouTube, you have to be good looking and you have to have a good voice and you have to, and I'm like, well, at first I kept buying into it because I'm like, okay, PewDiePie isn't really bad looking. And then I don't know, there's a bunch of YouTubers that are, like can do modeling right after their video. And it's just, but then you get to some YouTubers and then I'm like, they're just regular folks and they can do it.
Yeah, it is always kind of funny when you were mentioning how a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, to be popular on YouTube, you got to be extremely good looking, have a great voice. I say to hell with that. Well, I see you should just be who you are. And if you happen to be, I want to say, really blessed, if you're just naturally good looking without enhancements, then hey, cool. That's, good for you. If you're just an average looking Joe, then you roll with it and don't really give a crap about what other people say and just keep doing what you do.
So what makes your channel, or what do you feel about your channel that makes it unique compared to others?
Well, I think in the long run, one thing I definitely like about it is that it is sort of a mix of different channels or not really channels, a mix of different styles to where it's one part is for gameplay, the other part is for a web series, and the other part would just be daily vlogs of not really so much about my life, but more just assorted topics. And I find that there aren't enough YouTubers that can branch out and have 3 to 5 separate types of videos all going on at once. And I think in a way that kind of gives me a little bit of an advantage because I'm able to spread out amongst every type of YouTuber.
Final question. It's gonna kind of put you on the spot. Okay, so are you ready?
Bring it. Bring it.
Okay.
Bring it.
I'm a newcomer. I'm new to YouTube. I come across your channel. Why should I subscribe?
The reason why I would want you to subscribe to my channel is because I can promise you that I would provide a wide variety of entertainment in various forms, whether it be games, vlogs, web series, you name it. I will be able to communicate to you just what makes me who I am, and you'll get to connect with me on a personal level, no matter what it is I'm doing.
Thank you so much for coming, Patrick. It was great having you. Hopefully we'll have you again in the future.
Of course, I had a really good time. This was very nice.
Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you could be kind, out of the kindness of your heart, if you could leave us a rating on iTunes, even a review if you have the time. If you want to get more content from Exposure, you can go to Slowlist in Your Face on YouTube, or you can follow us on Twitter at Exposure Show, or you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/exposurepod. That's exposure POD. Also, please take the time to check out our guest, SorenWaritheart. His name is Patrick, and that's his channel. And if you want to be a guest or know somebody who should be a guest, please email us at slowlistnetwork@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you on the next episode of Exposure.